Oil just shot past $100 a barrel. Trump's threatening to blockade one of the world's most critical waterways. And Iran's economy? It's in free fall. If you think this doesn't affect you, your gas bill says otherwise. Let's break down what just happened. What's up, everyone, and welcome back. Today we're covering the stories that are literally changing the world as we speak. We're talking about a potential U.S. blockade that could choke global oil supply, Iran's economic collapse happening in real time, China stepping in with military support, and even a Pope meeting with Obama's strategist? Yeah, it's that kind of day. This is news that affects your wallet, your gas tank, and potentially American troops. So stick around. Let's get into it. Trump announces plan to blockade Strait of Hormuz. All right, let's start with the big one. Former President Donald Trump just announced that if he returns to office, the United States will blockade the Strait of Hormuz and intercept ships that have paid Iran. Now, if you don't know what the Strait of Hormuz is, it's basically the world's most important oil choke point. About 1/5 of the world's oil supply passes through this narrow waterway between Iran and Oman every single day. Trump says the U.S. would stop and board ships to check if they've done business with Iran. His goal? Cripple Iran's economy and stop their nuclear program. Why does this matter to you? Because blocking this strait doesn't just hurt Iran. It could send oil prices even higher than they already are. We're already seeing oil hit over $100 a barrel. Imagine what happens if the world's biggest oil highway gets shut down. Gas prices? They'd explode. Shipping costs through the roof. Inflation? Back with a vengeance. Plus, Iran has already threatened to close the strait themselves if they're attacked. So this could turn into a military standoff fast. Oil prices jump above $100 after U.S.-Iran talks collapse. So just days ago, the United States and Iran were in talks, diplomatic talks, the kind that are supposed to prevent wars. Those talks, they just ended. No deal, no agreement, nothing. And the markets reacted immediately. Oil prices jumped above $100 per barrel for the first time in months. Traders are panicking because they know what this means. Instability in the Middle East, potential conflict, and supply disruptions. When diplomacy fails, military options come back on the table. And the oil market knows it. Investors are betting that things are about to get a lot worse before they get better. For Americans, this means pain at the pump is coming back. We're talking $4, maybe $5 a gallon in some states. And it's not just gas. Everything that gets shipped, food, electronics, clothes, it all costs more when oil is expensive. Iran's economy is in serious trouble. And we're not talking about a recession. We're talking about a full-blown economic crisis. Here's the situation. Iran has been under heavy U.S. sanctions for years. These sanctions block Iran from selling oil easily, freeze their assets, and cut them off from the global banking system. Their currency, the rial, has lost most of its value. Inflation is out of control. Regular Iranians are struggling to afford basic goods. But now, it's getting worse. With ongoing conflicts in the region, including proxy wars with Israel and tensions with the U.S., Iran is spending billions on military operations, money they don't really have. Their oil exports have dropped. Foreign investment is nearly zero. And the Iranian people, they're protesting in the streets. Why does this matter to the USA? Because a desperate Iran is a dangerous Iran. When a government is backed into a corner economically, they sometimes lash out militarily. That's exactly what U.S. officials are worried about right now. Plus, a collapsing Iran creates a power vacuum. And guess who's ready to fill it? China, preparing to send advanced air defense systems to Iran. While the U.S. is cutting Iran off, China is stepping in. According to new reports, China is preparing to deliver advanced air defense systems to Iran. We're talking about cutting-edge military technology designed to shoot down missiles, drones, and aircraft. Why is China doing this? Simple. Geopolitics. China wants influence in the Middle East. They want access to Iran's oil, and they want to counter U.S. power in the region. By arming Iran, China is sending a message. We've got your back. This is a big deal because it changes the balance of power. If Iran gets these defense systems, it becomes a lot harder for the U.S. or Israel to launch airstrikes. It raises the cost of military action. For Americans, here's what this means. We're watching the formation of a new alliance. China and Iran are getting closer. That's a bloc that opposes U.S. interests, and it could reshape global politics for the next decade. If conflict breaks out, it won't just be the U.S. versus Iran. It could pull in major powers. That's how regional wars become global ones. Pope Leo for president. Meeting with Obama strategist sparks wild speculation. Okay, this one's a little different, but it's blowing up online. Pope Leo, the current head of the Catholic Church, recently met with David Axelrod. If that name sounds familiar, it's because Axelrod was President Obama's chief strategist. The guy who helped him win 2 elections. Now, nobody knows exactly what they discussed, but the meeting has sparked massive speculation online. Some people are jokingly asking, Pope Leo for president. But here's why people are talking. The Catholic Church has enormous influence, over 1 billion members worldwide. And in the U.S., Catholic voters are a huge swing vote. If the Pope weighs in on issues like immigration, climate change, or war, it moves. Meeting with a top political strategist signals that the Church might be gearing up to play a bigger role in global politics. Why it matters. In times of war and economic crisis, moral voices get louder. The Pope's opinions on U.S. foreign policy, especially regarding conflicts in the Middle East, could sway millions of voters. All right, let's wrap this up. Here's what we covered today. Trump's planning a potential blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. Oil prices just shot past $100 because U.S.-Iran talks failed. Iran's economy is collapsing under war and sanctions. China's sending them advanced weapons anyway, and the Pope might be stepping into politics in a bigger way. Bottom line, the world is shifting fast. These stories are connected, and they all affect you, whether it's the price you pay at the pump or the risk of American troops getting involved overseas. If you want to stay ahead of the news, hit that subscribe button right now. Drop a like if this video helped you understand what's really going on, and comment below. Do you think the U.S. should blockade Iran? Or is that too risky? Thanks for watching. Stay informed, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.